Hi, I'm Chris Kelworth.
And I'm Claire.
This is Illegal Aliens, a podcast looking at the 1999 TV series Roswell.
Every week we'll break down one episode of the show, starting with the pilot and working our way through all 3 seasons.
I'm a writer. I write science fiction and fantasy stories. I've been published on a podcast and sold stories to online magazines.
And I read English for 5 years in Scotland and have 2 degrees in English literature with special focus on the Romantic poets and Jane Austen. So I have form for analysing and dissecting texts.
Great. Roswell is a show that tried to be a lot of things at the same time. It was a teen soap opera, a science fiction mystery, an action adventure.
And at this point, nearly 15 years after it ended, it's an applicable metaphor for how we treat outsiders and how we expect them to integrate into the mainstream.
I want to look at the theme and message that we get from each episode of the show, and also look at how well it works as science fiction and as a well-crafted story.
We'll avoid spoiling future plots as we go through the series, but we will call attention to elements that become important later.
So this idea owes a lot to the great Storywonk podcast, especially Dusted, which covers Buffy, and We Used to Be Friends, which covers Veronica Mars. Last year, I was following both of those podcasts and also rewatching Roswell with a good friend, and came to a Veronica Mars episode where a girl is sent away to a boarding school in Vermont, and I immediately shouted Winneman Academy and actually expected Storywonk to call out that connection because for a moment I thought Roswell was one of the shows that they were covering.
Yeah, similarly, I was listening to Dusted over on Storywonk covering Buffy, and they must have got to about season 5. I think the episode was Shadow, but the monster was this interstellar something alien. And in the course of discussing why it didn't work, I suddenly thought, it would work much better in Roswell. It would probably be much more at home there. And I think that was the point at which I realised there was no podcast analysing Roswell, and maybe there should be.
Yep. So we're going to try it ourselves. We've got a website, alienscast.com. You can tweet to us using the hashtag alienscast. There's a Facebook page that you can like. The links for all this are going to be in the show notes. And if you can review us on iTunes, it would be great. I know that's the best way for people who might love this show to find it, and spread the word about it any way you can.
Join us when the pilot episode crashes, Monday, April 24th.
Thanks, I'm Chris Kelworth.
And I'm Claire.
I'm still alienated. Are you still alienated?
Still alienated.